What is up, guys? How y'all doing today? Welcome back to the channel for another episode of Retro Review. So welcome to the season summary pregame show of the Atlanta Falcons, right? I took them through a season on a unique challenge. So let's just get to it. What was the challenge? Well, on offense, we took out three starters. We took out the running back, Mike Rozier, even though he's hurt there because we had so many guys hurt. I had no choice but to put him in there for just as a. I mean, I didn't use him. Well, let's just go to yeah. He has one catch for no yards there. So, but yeah, the guy. So yeah, I took out. So let's just go to it. My challenge was on offense, so I took out Mike Rozier, the starting running back. I took out Andre Rison, the best receiver on the team, one of the best receivers in the game. And I also took out the other starting receiver, Sean Collins. I took out those three guys. So this basically was my lineup here. I did leave in Chris Miller at quarterback because he's not that highly rated on here. He's decent, not decent there on excellent. But, it was Steve Broussard as our main running back, Johnson our blocking back, Dixon, Haynes. I did go with, Thomas there some, and also Wilkins as the other receiver. So yeah, that was my the challenge on offense. My challenge on my my handicap on defense was basically one thing. I was not allowed to use this guy, Deion Sanders, so I could use anybody else but him. As you can see, he had 4 interceptions on his own and a sack. But we'll get into the stats later on. But yeah, on defense, of course, my style is I pick run on first and second down, and on those downs I use a defensive back to cover. So I was covering using a lot of Charles Demery, well, basically the other three guys. But that was my only rule in defense, is I could not use Deion Sanders on any play. But yeah, my normal way I play is I pick run on first and second down, control the defensive back to cover, and then on third and fourth down is when I will allow myself to pick pass, and then I can control anybody I want. Most of the times I do control a front seven and try to rush the passer, to get a sack. With the exception of I still do not do the nose tackle dive trick because that's cheap and lame, right? That's basically cheating, so we don't want that. So yeah, let's go over our stats here and see how we did. So let's go to start with our quarterback, Chris Miller. He had a pretty good season there, 62%. Completed 62% of his passes for 3,296 yards, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. A little high on the interceptions, but hey, going up against the teams like the Niners, also the Vikings, going up with the Falcons face a team that, the Falcons schedule, it's kind of a tough one. They start off the first game against Kansas City Chiefs, so a lot of teams they play have good defenses. So, but yeah, anyway, 34 touchdowns, 12 picks, 14 runs, 75 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Chris Miller, solid season, I'm going to say. Solid. Hugh Millen did not see the action. Chris Miller played every game. All right, our one of our wide receivers here, Michael Haynes, 28 catches, 881 yards, 11 receiving touchdowns. Pretty good numbers there. Steve Broussard, our running back, 151 attempts for 978 yards, 22 rushing touchdowns. Man, almost got 1,000, just 22 yards short. But he did get hurt. He did miss a couple games the last part of the season, so that was basically the reason for it. He also had 14 catches, 238 yards, 17-yard average on the receiving. Keith Jones, our other running back, just a little bit here and there. 18 runs, 48 yards, a couple touchdowns, only a 2.5-yard average rushing. 3 catches, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. But he was mainly on the kick returns. 46 returns for 763 yards, a 16.5-yard average. Did take one all the way for a touchdown on the kick returns. Also 13 punts, returns for 56 yards. Our other wide receivers, Floyd Dixon, 29 catches, 892 yards, and 11 receiving touchdowns. So yeah, once again, my receivers were pretty well balanced there. Let's see. 29 for 892 and 11 touchdowns compared to 28, 881, 11 touchdowns. Wow, virtually the same. I mean, just one catch difference, and Dixon had 892. So look at that. I mean, that's like, I mean, you couldn't have scripted it better. You know what I mean? I mean, to be that close. I mean, that's one catch. Really, if you think about it, yeah, let's just do the math here. 28 for 881. 29 for 892. Wow. I think that's got to be the record. I mean, there's no way of proving it for sure, but I'm thinking that has got to be the record for my 2 receivers being even, right? So what? Michael Haynes was 28 grabs for 8. What was it? Yeah, 881. Yeah, 881 to 892. Wow. 11 yards. So Floyd Dixon had 1 catch for an 11 yards difference. Better. That's got to be, I mean, you can't cut it. Can you cut it any closer than that? I mean, and again, without trying, right? Just playing the game, not being favorite, just throwing to the open guy, throwing it to the guy that makes sense. You know, man, 1 catch for 11 yards difference between Dixon and Haynes. How about that? Andre Eisen did not play. Tracy Johnson, our running back, he had 17 runs, 69 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, 13 catches, 215 yards. George Thomas, yeah, he was our tight end, right? He was at the tight end position, and he actually had the best season of the receiving corps. But, you know, he had 32 grabs, 966 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So even though he had some more, just a little bit more yards, but the touchdowns he was still. So all 3 guys had 11 touchdowns. And again, it's like, how do you pull that off? You know, it's just. Yeah, Sean Collins did not play. Gary Wilkins, 3 catches, 28 yards. It did have some special teams play there. Our kicker, Greg Davis, hit all 64 of his extra points and was 12 out of 13 on field goal attempts. So only just 1 miss on the field goals. Scott Fulhaig, 4 punts, 263 yards, 65.7 yard average. Let's go to the defense, the weakness of the team. Tim Green had 1 sack. Torrey Epps, 3 sacks. Mike Gann, 5 sacks. Darian Connor, 1 sack. John Raid, 5 sacks. Jesse Tugglewuggle, 4 sacks. And he probably is their best defensive guy up front. Unless you go maybe with, yeah, Mike Gann's decent. He's 50-50 there on the line. Michael Reed does 2 sacks. Deion Sanders on his own, he had 4 interceptions and 1 sack. Charles Demery had 2 interceptions. Scott Case, 3 interceptions. And Brian Jordan, 2 interceptions. So, yeah, the defensive backfield didn't... just so-so there, you know. I mean, Deion had 4. So there's 6, 9, 11. So, 11 interceptions total for the defense. And, you know, the sack number is not that great either. So, but yeah, like I said, the Falcons don't have that good of a defense, you know. So there's our stats for everybody, offense and defense. Let's go to the league leaders now. Quarterbacks here. Chris Miller, number 3 there in the league, behind Joe Montana and Randall Cunningham. After him is Jim Kelly, Warren Moon, Rodney Peete. Wow, is number 6. That's rare. Phil Simms, Mark Rippon, Jim Everett, and Don Mikowski round out the top 10. Yeah, usually don't see old Rodney Peete there. Let's see. Let's go for receiving. Let's go to average yards per catch. There's Michael Haynes, number 2, 31.4 yard average. Dixon's there behind him at number 4, 30.7 yard. And touchdowns. Yep. Wow, Jerry Rice had 23 touchdowns. Duper had 17. But there we go. We got 3 guys there. Bam, bam, bam. All of them at 11. Let's go to rushing. Barry Sanders, the league leader there. 1,600 yards. Let's see. And there's Broussard, number 16, 978. How about attempts? Because I did give it to him. There he is, number 7 on attempts. How about yards? Average. Wow, Barry averaged 12.9 yards. How about touchdowns? There he is. Steve Broussard tied with Ernest Binder at 22 touchdowns. How about the punter? There's Fulhig, league best punter in the league, 65-yard average. There's sack. We're not going to be there. Reggie White and Simon Fletcher's tied for the sack leader at 22. How about that? That's different. A lot of times you don't see Fletcher up there like that. Followed by Derek Thomas and Charles Haley. Kickoff returns. Oh, Haddix of Green Bay. We're not there really. Punt returns, we're not going to be there either. Yeah, punt returns is hard on this game. Interceptions. Dave Waymer, always up there. Ronnie Lepet. Felix Wright for the Browns. If you're watching this, Wargasm, there's a shout out to your Browns. One of your Brownies. And the scoring. Thurman Thomas of the Bills, 28 touchdowns. Ernest Binder at 27. There's Broussard, number 4, 22. Alright, there's the league leaders. Let's go to our rankings here. Offensively, how do we stack up? Okay, there we are, number 13. Number 13 total offense. Passing, we are number 5. Rushing, we were 26th. I knew we'd probably be low on the rushing. And how about the defense? Well, even though it is weakness of the team, we still was number 1 in the league, thanks to, I'm going to say, the retro advantage of just, you know, going out and playing, right? Going out and playing the games. Just doing my best effort there. Number 1 total, number 1 against the pass, and number 19 against the run. Yes, the rushing is my weakness on the defense. Let's go to the standings here by the divisions there. AFC East, the Buffalo Bills won the division 10-6, even though Miami had the same record, but because of points calculation, Bills got the edge. In the Central, just the Oilers in the playoffs at division champs at 14-2. AFC West, Broncos won the division 11-5. Chargers are in the playoffs at 10-6, and so are the Seahawks at 9-7. And in the NFC East there. The Washington Redskins are division champs at 13-3. Eagles and Giants both 10-6 in the playoffs as wild cards. NFC Central, the Minnesota Vikings edged out the Bears, both of them 9-7. Look at that. But because of points, Vikings are division champs and go to the playoffs. So that's points can come down to the difference between winning your division and making the playoffs or not. So yeah, when you got a chance, hey, score the points if you can, you know. And there we are, 14-2 division champs. Niners are in the playoffs at 9-7. There you go, guys. There's our season summary. I've already simulated the games, so we're already ready at our game. But let's go ahead and go through. In the AFC wild card, the Miami Dolphins beat the Chargers, edged them out 24-23. They went on to play Denver in the divisional round. They beat the Broncos 27-21 at Mile High. On the other wild card game, the Seahawks beat the Bills 37-21. They went on to face the Oilers and beat them 27-13. So it's the Seahawks and the Dolphins in the AFC Championship game. All right, over here on the other side, Philadelphia Eagles blew out the Giants 24-0. Just dominated the game. One reason for that is I will go here and just quick tidbit. There you go. The Giants went into the game with Anderson and Meggett and Turner injured. In the first quarter, Jerome Brown sacked Sims, and Sims was injured on the play. So Sims got nuked in the first quarter of that Eagles game against the Eagles. So yeah, with that, you can pretty much, understand why the Eagles took care of them 24-0. They went on to face the Redskins in the division round. Redskins beat the Eagles 24-10. All right. And the other wild card game, the 49ers was upset by the Vikings 23-20. A Fuad Reviz field goal edged them out. So that is our opponent tonight. The Minnesota Vikings are coming to Atlanta, Georgia, to Fulton County Stadium to take on the Falcons. So there you go, guys. There's our pregame season summary page. Oh my. So there you go, guys. That wraps up our season summary pregame show of how we did with the Falcons. Oh yeah, a note on our season there with 14-2. I do like to mention the two teams we lost to, and we lost to the city of LA, the Raiders and the Rams. Those were the two teams that beat us. So you probably can understand, you probably can see those two teams, getting one on us, each one. So, okay, guys, that wraps up the show. We hope to see you tonight when we take on the Vikings in the NFC wild card. I'm sorry, the NFC divisional playoff game. So until then, have a good one, okay? And I'll see you when I see you. But if this is your first time to the channel, tap subscribe, then the bell ding ding so you're notified when I upload new videos. So until next time, guys, stay frosty, keep it retro, and come Lord Jesus.
We're fighters for truth, justice, and the American way.
And liftoff. We have liftoff. Challenger has cleared the tower.